Alright, been meaning to make this video for a while, like since last summer, and I started at Orleans. Didn't think it would be at 4 a.m. on this side of the wall to the pool at Excalibur, but such is life. Keeping track of what you make at your job, my philosophy is you should know the number in your paycheck before you get the paycheck. So when I worked in IT, it was a salary position. There wasn't much to it. I had a salary. You divide that by 12, and that was it. I got one paycheck per month. So it was very simple. I did it, but it didn't take more than like a couple seconds of just looking at the paycheck and making sure the amount was right. As an hourly employee, there's more to it, especially dealing poker, because I get money for being on the clock. I get money for dealing tournaments. I get tips for dealing cash games. There's a lot going on. There's daily overtime, there's weekly overtime, sometimes shifts are on 2 calendar days. There's a lot going on. So let's start with Orleans. Orleans, I'm hired to mostly deal tournaments. PH is different. I'll get to PH. Orleans hired mostly to deal tournaments. This is my spreadsheet to track my pay at the Orleans. Okay, 2024 example from the Orleans. Here is my spreadsheet covering that. Showing you the first 2 days from 2024 at the Orleans. A few things going on, so let me explain it to you before I get into the column headings. I don't know if you're wondering, this orange row, it's just highlighted in orange, that went across the entire file, and that's just separating pay periods. So, of course, something hourly, need to know when I clock in. I'm putting that in as a time in Excel. Clock out, also putting that in as a time. Total time, Excel will subtract the 2 columns, so that's not manually entered. There's a formula, and it's subtracting the 2 times. Does get confusing if it's on 2 calendar days, but in 2024 at Orleans, I never had a shift occur on 2 different calendar days. So it subtracts the time, and the time is as a time. It's not as a decimal. So 7:30 is 7 hours and 30 minutes. It's easier to work with the decimal 7.5, but you could create that column. I didn't, because it would get confusing if a shift ever happened on 2 calendar days, or if there were daily overtime, or if there were weekly overtime. So what I did after Excel created this column for me, 7:30, I would take the extra minutes, and in a calculator type 30 divided by 60. That gets me those leftover minutes as a decimal. Then I would add 7, the full hours, so now I have the entire time as a decimal. And then I would multiply by 11.25, which was the hourly wage back in May 2024. Since then, the minimum wage in the state has increased to 12, but on May 26, 2024, it was $11.25. So that's how I got the number in the column next to it, $84.38. The next day did have daily overtime, which is why I wasn't creating that extra column, creating the time as a decimal. So for 9:53, 9 hours and 53 minutes, the first 8 hours were regular pay, and then for the extra, for the final 1 hour 53 minutes, I did what I just showed you with the numbers on the screen, typing into the calculator, and then I multiplied by 11.25, and then I multiplied by 1.5, because we get 50% more for our overtime hours. But anyway, that gets me to wage earned. The first green columns with headings in green are actual dollars I earned. The columns with the headings in black are columns with information that I need to arrive at the dollars that I actually earned. So that's wage. Just for being on the clock, that covered wage. Next to it, MTT, HE downs, MTT, multi-table tournament. So tournaments, HE is Hold'em. We got paid differently for Hold'em and for all other games. So just type in how many Hold'em downs I had. That's just a number. And we were guaranteed $15 per Hold'em down. So as the pay period happened, I was just multiplying this column by 15. After I got the pay stub, then there was some extra money in there, mostly due to tournament tips. Then I would allocate that extra money and come up with a slightly different number, but I wanted to have every penny covered. I didn't just want to have 15 in there, even though we were earning slightly more. So as the pay period happened, it would just be 12 times 15 in the next column. But after the pay period ended and I saw the pay stub, and then for this pay period, I saw that we actually got paid $16.26, the next column over takes the 12 and multiplies it by 16.26. That's how I get the 195.12 in this column. Tournament, hold'em, wages. The money I earned for dealing the hold'em downs. Then the next two columns do the same thing, but for mixed game downs, I use the word other, but tournament, other, any tournament that wasn't no limit hold'em, because we got paid differently, and the same thing is going on there. It was guaranteed at 20 last year, so as the pay period happened, this column multiplied by 20 would be the formula in the next column, and then afterwards, after I got the pay stub, I would put the actual number to the penny that we got. It was always a little bit more than $20 per down. Another green column there, dollars in the green column. Cash downs and cash tips. Didn't really need the cash downs column. I just was curious if I ever wanted to go back and divide the tips by the downs and see how much I was earning per down. That was for me, but need to keep track of the dollars. That's what I was earning in cash tips. That first day, May 26th, didn't deal cash. That second day, May 27th, I did. I dealt 9 cash downs and earned 125 in tips. And then the total. So kind of two totals here. The first total just sums the 4 green columns. Wages that I got just for being on the clock, money I got for dealing hold'em tournament downs, money I got for dealing mixed game tournament downs, and money I got in cash tips for dealing cash games. That's the total. So that's what I earned pre-tax. The column next to it, total, and in parentheses CK, total that I'm going to see in the check. It's the total column minus the cash tips, because that's the only money that's not having any affiliation with the paycheck. I'm dealing cash games. I'm getting tips via chips. I'm cashing those chips out for cash before I leave, and that money never gets on the check. So you see on the second day, May 27th, I earned $355.18, but 125 of it, the column to the left, was in cash tips. So what am I going to see in the check for that day? $355.18 minus $125. Only $230.18 are going to be in the paycheck for day 2, May 27th. Then when all that is done, you'll have the entire column, total, check, and if you sum that column, that should be the pre-tax amount in the paycheck to the penny. Keep track of everything as each day goes on, and then you know exactly what's going to be in the check before you get the check. So that was Orleans. Planet Hollywood is a lot different. Planet Hollywood is almost all cash games. So 2 things. I'm on the clock and getting cash tips and cash games. Deal some tournament downs, but not much. The big thing at Planet Hollywood is to make sure I'm being taxed properly. How many hours are they applying the tip compliance to? That's the main thing to check. And remember, rice is a spoon food.